Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Ruach HaKodesh. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations to the Akim who are tuning into these videos. And in this video, I want to speak about these billboards that I've been seeing pop up all over the city. And it's pretty much as you're going to the city of San Francisco. You are bombarded on the freeway with all these billboards from this website called Jew Belong. And these type of topics that we go into, they're very touchy because we're at the last leg of this revitalized Roman Empire, and so Esau still has a few magic tricks up his sleeves, but we're seeing the effects of his current magic starting to wane, and his witchcrafts and his seances, they're no longer working. That's why he's trying to push this vibration as much as he can. He's putting this in the very forefront, and especially like with that recent thing that happened with that rapper who was formerly Kanye West, now he identifies as Ye. He was going on a tangent on various news outlets, bringing this topic up. It was even featured on South Park. So the fact of the matter is that we are the real Hebrew Israelites, and that consists of you so-called blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, and those that this word resonates with, because we are scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. We're going to have Israelite foreigners from all different places of the world, even people who you would consider, well, like what these people, this sign are speaking about, because the world right now is in the hand of the wicked, Esau, Edom, and the chief one being Amalek. And again, these are touchy subjects, but just going to show the fact that we're at this last moment, and he's dishing out all of his magic tricks that are up his sleeve, and this is no longer working to those who have eyes to see, and it's very blatant and obvious that these guys that are proclaiming all these things, they're over there in the land, they're not beholding the majesty of the Lord, because you could just look, case in point. This guy, I believe his name is Yuval Noah Harari, and I'm not going to play this video with the volume up, but this individual, he's a part of the WEF, and he's pushing that vibration of anti-Hamashiach, and it's crazy that this their magic and their witchcrafts, that they cover the faces of the judges thereof, and they really do have people thinking that this guy on the screen are still the people that the scriptures are speaking about and that the Lord is dealing with, even though they are contrary with their spirit. Because first and foremost in this ministry, we deal with the inward man, just as Yahweh dealt with the inward man when King David was anointed as king. That's what Samuel was saying. We're dealing with the spirit, because you're gonna have people come in this ministry with different genetic makeup, if you will. They're gonna come looking Asiatic. They're gonna come looking Japhetic in nature, like from the islands. They're gonna come in looking like what you see on the screen here. But we're dealing with the spirit, and the spirit that this individual has on screen is not upright, because ultimately his spirit and his line goes back to Esau, Edom, and it's just, there's no doubt about it. And their witchcraft and magic is no longer working on the elect, the remnant. We have obtained this knowledge, and the rest are blinded, of course. They're still going to try to keep this vibration going, and it's going to work on a few of the people, or I should say the majority of the people, but it's not going to work on those who heard Yahweh Bashim Yahushai's voice and are cleansed through this word and are now walking on the straight and narrow. Because once you hear this word, it resonates with you, you start changing your life. You're pretty much you're starting that path of being righteous and putting off this world. And a lot of the 2/3, they're going to continue to drive by these billboards and not think of it anymore that this is just a gaslight in itself, because they have stolen our identity and they're pushing this vibration all over the world. Because you can see, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked, and they got all these billboards, and like this is all over. Like the other day I work because I watched this video the other day with Yuval Noah Harari, and he's just speaking about making an AI Bible because he doesn't have faith in the world what who the world calls God. He believes that now with these technologies he can make his own Bible. Among other things that this individual is all about. But going to work, I saw 3 billboards of this thing, and they're really pushing this vibration out there. And I'm not really going to read these things because one, they're not biblical, and two, they're not really pertaining to us, those who are in the know. Because they really just speak about the thing that happened 75 years ago, and anti-racism, anti-Zionism. I'm not going to speak too much on it because although these are being plastered all over, we are not allowed to speak against these things or question them or even just bring them up in a lesson. Just say, like, I'm going to say this, but what do you think? I'll let you decide. Because they know what we think. Because this is why they're pushing this vibration, because they don't want us to know what we know. They want to control the narrative. And then, so along with billboards, and like there's no escape from this vibration and witchcraft that they're trying to push on the people. That like if you were to go on TikTok or Twitter or Instagram, you're gonna see this blue square, and it's pretty much the same thing. You see, it's like this billboard is bright and pink to catch your attention, and then for example, you go on TikTok and you're scrolling through the memes and watching like various folly videos, and then a serious note kicks in with these ads about this blue square. And those who have seen these things, they come up pretty frequent. If you're on these various apps, so like there's literally no escape, and you can see their tactic that they're really trying to garner your attention with these bright colors and all these wicked things that they're proclaiming is happening, so that you can feel sympathy for a group of certain people. But I'm not going to speak too much on this, like putting one person against another in terms of like what has gone through with these people or whatever, because of recent times. It's really just it's a stay away from that. Like your videos will get striked, but already in the scriptures, um, see, because we're going to go back to the scriptures. We're not going to speak in our minds or what's currently happening per se, because it's already written all these things that happen. Because Esau can strike us our videos all he wants, but ultimately he's already been struck out through the scriptures. That's why they want to get an artificial Bible, so they can get a clean slate pretty much. Right, so that they're the good guys controlling the narrative. And so this real quick precept is in Amos 1 and 11. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity." And so you see that he's the king of pity right now. He's getting all that pity privilege. There's other various words, but I don't want to speak too much on these topics because I'm probably going to get 4 strikes. But as the scripture says, Edom, he's already on his 4th strike. And so he's going to pay for all these things, and the punishment is not going to turn away. The Lord requireth that is which of the past, and everything that is happening right now, it's just piling on top. This devil's iniquity has reached unto the heavens, and it's only a time where Yahweh Shai is going to have patience for that. He's going to send Yahweh Shai. We're seeing all these prophecies start to happen faster and faster, and one of the prophecies that's going to happen, that's happening right now, is that his witchcraft is no longer working, especially amongst the elect, because a lot of people know the cat's out the bag pretty much, but they don't know the full mysteries of the scriptures. The full mysteries are given to those of the hopeful elect, so they can endure and have this stable mindset, because they pretty much they know everything. They know all the breakdown. Spiritual man knoweth all things. So when we're driving to work, or you're on TikTok and you're seeing all these ads, and understand what this is all about through the Spirit. But I'm going to read Amos 1:11 again from the top. It says, "Thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, For 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity. There's a lot of like on TikTok, you scroll through that, it starts picking up on your algorithm on what you like to watch. And me personally, I see a lot of like so-called woke stuff where you got so-called blacks, Native Americans, and they're pointing out this devil and all of the crimes that he's been doing. I believe it's on this channel, Two Through Information. I just gotta see because I saw this video clip. Yeah, this is the one right here, titled "They Will Pay," and it's going into the fact that like these tombstones represent a lot of black people who were lynched during the equal justice, and this is something that's not talked about. This doesn't have a lot of advertisements. This right here is an ad on TikTok, but this right here on this video is something you'll see if you're into that niche of like cultures of like wokeness, like how people label it nowadays. But this is actually truth, and this is Esau's wickedness being revealed, because everybody knows and understands pretty much what's going on. Only the elect is going to obtain the full knowledge of really what's going to happen and how it's all going to go down. But he's going to cast all this pity. It's only him who gets the pity. It's just the mind of his devil. He's the reason why all the animals are in disarray. The earth is in mourning because of what he's doing. But it's woe is him, as opposed to the people that he's always telling get over it. But it says because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and that's something that like a lot of people, they may know a few things about these ads and these memes that they see on the internet, but they fully don't know and understand that we as a nation of Israel, the Hebrew Israelites, have an enemy, and it's our brother who is pursuing us with the sword. Ever since going back all the way to Cain, even when we were leaving the land of Egypt, they met us with swords when we were crossing their area, going to the land of Israel, and it's because they have that perpetual hatred. This hatred stems back to when Jacob took the birthright from him through supplanting, because the mom put the clothes on him so that he smelled like he was from the outside, and when Isaac touched him, he felt like he was hairy, just as Esau was. But the story how it played out. Isaac was he couldn't really see, and so he gave that blessing to Jacob as opposed to Esau. And you can see right now, with this devil, it's a good thing that happened. But ever since then, he's been pursuing us with the sword, and he casts off the pity from us. Any opportunity that he sees us down on our luck, so to speak, he's gonna push us further down. Especially right now when this is his rulership. So it says, reading from here, it says, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. So the scriptures here don't lie. He kept his wrath forever, and the scriptures don't change. Even in today's times, even though this devil is like your coworker, or he's putting all these advertisements everywhere, his perpetual hatred for the nation of Israel is kept in him forever. That's just the way he was wired. So like one thing brothers need to understand is like we're like literally in the valley of shadow of death. Like if you watch that movie They Live, like you're seeing all these ads. We are constantly bombarded with witchcraft and a bunch of like smoke screens that are thrown in our faces. So like in these times, you got to be circumspect on everything. Not just like when you're at work, but like when you're at home, relaxing with your family, or even out there at the camp, because we're in these last days where when his magic's not working, he's going to resort to what works, which is his sword. But ultimately, you got angels camped around about us, so even then, that's not going to work 100% of the time. But in these times, while we're still measuring the times, we still have to walk circumspectly, because everything right here, this is not our rest. So here in Ephesians 5 verse 15 it says, "See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise." And then verse 16 it says, redeeming the time because the days are evil. And so we're measuring the times right now. We know and understand that these are the last days. So Esau, having great wrath because he knoweth that he hath but a short time, he's going to throw everything that he has under his sleeve at us. And right now he's doing these billboards. Just wait till his next phase, and the next prophecy, the next measurement of time that we're seeking after. And then so we understand, the times that we're in. So like it says here that we're not supposed to be drunk with wine in excess, but really rather to be filled with the Spirit, being circumspect, being a soldier for Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. And a soldier isn't invested in other things. He has his mind on what he needs to do. Like it's even in the scriptures that if a person, like, he just got married, or he's afraid of the war that he's about to go, he's sent back home because that vibration spreads. So we're in this watchman ministry, and we're as spiritual soldiers. So like you have to have your mind on a swivel, keeping your eyes on the prize, because this devil, he still has that perpetual hatred for us, and he's always going to be chasing us with the sword. But know and understand though that this is for the remnant. Those are the hopeful elect, because we have an escape. We have a comfort in the valley of shadow of death. All this bombardment that he does. Ultimately, you have to understand that Yahweh Shai, he's protecting us, or I should say, the archangel Michael is protecting us down here. There's angels that are camping around about us, and ultimately, these enchantments only work if you let them work. And I'm going to read this here in Numbers 23 and 23. It reads, surely there is no enchantment against Jacob, neither is there any divination against Israel. According to this time, it shall be said of Jacob and of Israel, what hath the Most High wrought. So nothing that this devil is going to be able to do is going to prevail. He has bounds that he cannot pass. He's not going to be able to take the 7,000 that won't bow down to the image of Baal. The Most High has the elect out of his hands, and this devil's not going to be able to pluck them out. So he's going to try though, but as the scripture says, that the elect is going to be scarcely saved. And so concerning those the 2/3 who we preach about these things, we preach about the spiritual warfare that we're in, and who this devil really is, and what spirit that he comes after. But they're going to disregard us because they're ultimately trusting in this devil. They're believing in his lies rather than our truth. And I'm going to read this in Isaiah 30, starting at the top. It says, woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me. So when we're out there on the highways and hedges, speaking in the names of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and they disregard our message, they're not taking the counsels of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. They hate those who sent us. And ultimately, they're being marked. Because that's one of the things that we were commanded to do out there, is to preach this gospel. And those who disregard it, the 2/3, they're going to get marked, like it says in Ezekiel 9:4. And verse 2, it says that, I'm going to continue reading here. It says that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. So like the 2/3, they're pretty much, they don't want Numbers 23 and 23 to apply to them. And so that's why they're getting jacked up by letting Esau just mess with them spiritually. And verse 2, it says, that walk to go down into Egypt, and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves to the strength of Pharaoh, and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. It's like, you have to understand that the 2/3, they're trusting the shadow of Egypt. They're not taking counsel of the Lord, and they don't want to be like the Jews. Like it's a comfort. How I should say this without this video getting striked. They'd rather these billboards stand for something. I'll say it like that. But I'm gonna read this also in 1 John 1 verse 4. It says, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world. And so that's one thing that you can equate. Like if a person is really a person that stems from Jacob or Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, you can discern their spirits. And if they're not coming in the righteous vibration, but rather in this vibration you got the guy on the screen here, then you know that they're not of the Most High, and they're false prophets pretty much. And in verse 2 it says, "Hereby know ye the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Every spirit that confesseth that Yahweh Shai Hamashiach is come in the flesh is of the Most High. And every spirit that confesseth not that Yahweh Shai Hamashiach is come in the flesh is not of the Most High. And this is that spirit of anti-Hamashiach, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world." So you have to understand, we're out here in the valley of shadow of death. Even those of the nation of Israel, the 2/3, and then even those of the circumcision, they're actually coming in after the workings of Satan. They're anti-Hamashiachs, because there's actually more than one. If they trust in the shadow of Egypt, then they're marked for judgment, just as it says in Ezekiel 9:4. They would rather choose this devil's convenient lies as opposed to the Lord's hard truths. And I'm going to read this precept here in Matthew 16, verse 18. It reads, "And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock will I build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." So you come into this ministry, you understand that like you're working for your own salvation, and so if you're participating in Yahweh Shai's ministry and you're working on his stead and preparing for the wedding, then you're going to be protected, because the angels are going to protect us. As the scripture says in the book of Isaiah, his servants are going to eat, but we're going to laugh at the calamities of all the people who saw these ads and didn't question it. They just accepted it as for face value. They didn't listen to what the prophets were saying about what's really going on behind the scenes. And verse 19 it says, "But I will give unto thee the keys of the kingdom of heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt bind on earth shall be bound in heaven, and whatsoever thou shalt loose on the earth shall be loosed in heaven." And so I'm going to read this, speaking about the virgin daughter of Babylon, because, we're going to win Akim, because you can see this devil's witchcraft is no longer working. And, his time is about to end. The times are moving quick for the elect's sake. So I want to read this here because, it makes you think of Jeremiah 51 also, that Babylon has suddenly fallen. Take balm for her pain. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed, because there's no turning back. And here in Isaiah 47, and I'm going to start at, verse 7. Or actually, I'll start at verse 6. It says, "I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Upon the ancients hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke." They didn't pity us. They didn't care about us. They saw that the Lord wasn't dealing with us as a nation, and the curses that were spoken about in Deuteronomy were in effect. That they put all holy hell on the nation of Israel. They did the whole transatlantic slave trade, among other things. And verse 7 says, "And thou saidst, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it." And he really thinks that he's going to succeed in this new world agenda. In the fullness of his efficiency. Actually, I'm going to get that. Alright, so this is in Job 20, verse 22. It says, "In the fullness of his sufficiency he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon it." In verse 23 it says, "When he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating." So he's not going to win, even though it's going to look like he's going to win from his point of view. The Most High is going to he's going to send Yahweh Shai down here so he can slap that plate out of his hand. But he thinks in his mind that he's going to be a lady forever. But he doesn't consider his latter end. And verse 8 it says, "Therefore hear now this, thou that art given to pleasure, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. But these two things shall come in thee in a moment, in one day: the loss of children, the widow and widowhood. They shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. What's speaking about what this video is about. And verse 10 says, For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness, thou hast said, None seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee, and thou hast said in thine heart, I am, and none else besides me. But ultimately, the Most High sees you, and the two witnesses see you. The prophets are seeing everything that's happening right now, because we are watchmen, and we're measuring the time diligently, and we're telling the flock about what you're doing. We're telling you to the flock to be weary in these evil days and trust in the Lord. And verse 11, it says, Therefore shall evil come upon thee, thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee, thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit, if so be thou mayest prevail. So the Lord is being facetious here, pretty much saying, just keep doing what you're doing, Esau. Because it's been working this long, it's going to probably work all the way. But there's a bound that he's not going to be able to pass with his magic. Just like with the ancient pharaohs, they were able to make a stick turn into a snake, but when Moses put the staff down, that turned into a snake, and it prevailed against their witchcrafts. Showing you that the right hand is more powerful than the left hand. And in verse 11, it says, Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. Therefore there shall not be a coal to warm at, nor a fire to sit before it. Thus shall they be unto thee, with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarters, none shall save thee. So anybody joining hand with Esau in these last days, trying to prop up this gaslight that he's been pushing, on every billboard, just know that it's not going to work to the elect, at least. And with that, I'd like to give honor and praises to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Ruach HaKodesh, and Shalom Akim.